Yo, 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 welcome to episode 10 of season 1 of Startup and Drop Out. It's your boy Ty. On this podcast, I share with you the lessons I've learned in building businesses, selling businesses, and the mistakes I've made along the way, and most importantly, the lessons I've learned from others. So I hope to share these experiences with you, and I want to be clear in that I am still figuring this out, and I am figuring it out with you guys. So I don't have all the answers, but I've learned a lot, and I hope to learn from you. So on today's episode, episode 10, which is the last episode of season 1, hope you made it through all of season 1, you can get in touch with whoever the fuck you want. So do you watch Shark Tank? I'm going to go out on a limb and say yes. If you still don't know who Mark Cuban is, you probably are listening to this by accident, which is cool, so what's up? But after speaking to lots and lots and lots of kids, both in keynotes and one-on-ones, I always hear the same shit. Besides clothing lines, which I address in the Not Be Embarrassed episode, there's always the same thing. I want to be like Marcus Lemonis. I want to work with him. I want to be like Mark Cuban. I want to work with him. Sir Richard Branson. I want to work with him. I mean, there's literally less than 5 people I hear over and over and over again. And this is all great, but there's no such thing as a self-made man, which Malcolm Gladwell, which is, I'll save that for another episode, but go check out Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, the book. And someone has always had someone help them along the way. But I can promise you, you can email Mark Cuban, he's not going to respond. I mean, you could email him every day for a month, for 6 months, he still won't respond. But I can promise you this, if you email him something that is of enough value to him or any of his businesses, I guarantee you get a response. Why? Because of fucking value. Duh. So take a moment and think. If you can get in touch with whoever you wanted, who would it be? Now let's come up with 2 people. I want you to write them down. Now that's the easy step. Now comes the value. What value can you add to each of these people? Now, do not be like these fucking financial advisors on my LinkedIn who message me daily and copy and paste bullshit. Oh yeah, I'm going to trust my financial future to someone who sent me a fucking copied and pasted message. No thanks. You gotta tailor that shit. What do you like more? Those fucking coupons for shit you never buy and you always throw away without even looking at? Or handwritten card you get in the mail? Wait, I don't even know if us millennials use mail anymore. Shit, it's probably a bad example, but we're just going to roll with it. So now that you have your list, what can you do to add value to these people? This is where you win. This is where you stand out from every other wantrepreneur. This is the hard part. There is no formula. It is that you have to put yourself in their shoes. What do they need or what do they need help with? Some basic examples is maybe it's a badass attorney that you greatly respect in your city. Or maybe that value you can add is that you can change his website and all of his social stuff to 2019 instead of 1919. Or maybe this person you want to learn from has a charity event every spring. You can offer to volunteer or offer your services for free or whatever you do. Maybe you do free cleaning or videography or whatever. Or there are limitless possibilities. It is your job to figure out how to connect the dots so clearly that the person would be losing money or time if they don't respond. One trick, and it's almost like a cheat code, is, and I'm tempted to not mention it, but I like y'all, is it is critical to always have a clear call to action. So for example, you drive by a billboard, actually nobody looks at billboards anymore, but I'll go with it, and you see an image of a mountain or whatever the fuck. Right, but you don't see even what brand it is or what the product is or what they're, go by and mention this billboard and get it. There's no clear call to action. The call to action is key. In user experience design, it's emphasized a BFB. Does anybody have any guesses what a BFB is? A big fucking button. Why? Because they want the call to action to be clear. So when you send this person the letter we were talking about, you need a clear call to action. It is that you want them to introduce you to someone. Or maybe you want to work for free. Listen back to the Get Any Experience You Want episode. Or that you want them to sign your Maverick jersey. Whatever the fuck it is, it needs to be clear. So the hack I was talking about is you can sometimes skip the value step. But let me be clear, You can skip it in the short term, but it'll always come back. So don't skip it ever, but you can if you want. And that is, you ask a question. You make the clear call to action a clear, simple question. Make it a real question, not some surface level question. Is there something that they've experienced that you're experiencing and you want to know how they got through it? Make it a real question from your heart. Now, man, my calling card has got to be the handwritten letter. I mean, I love me the handwritten letter. To me, it's the greatest tool in your arsenal. Why? Because as Gary Vee says, marketers ruin freaking everything, right? They ruin email. They ruin everything because they overuse it. And the good news is that although direct mail has been overrun with ads and bullshit, it's resurfacing as something that the average marketer doesn't use. You know why? Because it's not scalable, right? You have to literally write the handwritten letter, and that's what makes it a handwritten letter. Now, the handwritten letter is your best friend. What makes a good handwritten letter? Well, first, the address. I cannot tell you how much time I've spent writing letters only to have them returned back to me in a week or two. Remember the old ad, quote, corporate office next to the company name on Google for the phone number? But lo and behold, guess what else you get? The address. But a lot of the times it's wrong. So what you need to do is you need to add this person that you're interested in on LinkedIn, which I'll go into in social setting in another episode. And you need to see where they live. So, for example, maybe the corporate office you Googled says Atlanta, Georgia. But when you look at your target, it says San Diego, California. That doesn't make sense, right? So what you need to do is you need to call the corporate number. And in response to the inevitable message that you're going to get of Margaret from Megatron asking how she can help, yes, Margaret, I need your help. I need to send a handwritten note to Joe Johnson, and I wanted to make sure that if I send it to 123 Main Street that he would receive it. Oh, well, actually, he's at our other offices, Ty. Let me get that address for you. Thank you so much, Margaret. Now, after she gives it to you, my favorite line is, well, thank you so much for what you have done. Thank you so much for going out of your way, Margaret. You've done your good deed for the day. With a little chuckle at the end, a little giggle, works like a charm. So this is where the episode on when you're stalking and you're doing it right comes into play. You don't need to have just one central way of outreaching to someone. You need to have a variety. If you think sending a letter is going to get a response, you are daydreaming. I think of a letter as sending a few spies in enemy territory. Sometimes they come back and help you win the war, but more often than not, you need some air attacks. You can tell I have no idea what the hell I'm talking about with military technology, or terminology, excuse me, which I think of these air attacks as phone calls. Or maybe some infantry, which are emails. So let's take a moment to think again. Who are the two people that you could get in touch with if you could get in touch with anybody? Why? Why do you want to get in touch with them? Then, make the call to action clear. What is the value that you can add and capture this? Think on it. Put yourself in their shoes. It doesn't have to be some profound PhD thesis. Value is value. Then find their address, find their number, and stalk. Remember, persistence is everything, and at the end of the day, these people you're trying to get in touch with have had somebody help them, and so they're more often than not going to be open to helping you. But you have to put the discipline in to research them, to do your homework, and to add the value. Thank you for listening to Season 1 of Startup Dropout. Please let me know anywhere you can how you like today's episode, and more importantly, your feedback on the podcast as a whole. I hope this has added value to you, and please let me know what I can learn in exchange. I hope you have a wonderful, kick-ass fucking day, and I am so excited to grow businesses with you. Cheers.